Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Sarah Liz and we are going to make 2 fun fold emergency cards using the Spellbinders Quick and Easy Card Kit for March 2023. You do not need the kit to make cards with these folds. If you do like the ephemera and things like that, then check out the kit below. This blue piece is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Purple is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have 2 pieces here that are the same size, 2 1/2 by 3 inches. There's pattern paper and then that whitish piece. This is just some packaging that was in the card kit that came with probably the puffy stickers, maybe the chipboard stickers. I also have 2 pieces of pattern paper that are 4 by 3 inches with the pattern going the same direction. So I'm going to start with these 2 pieces and I am just drawing a line kind of down the middle. Okay, actually exactly down the middle, it sort of matters. And then I'm checking my pattern to make sure it's going the right way. And I am going to fold that up towards that line. If you had a scoreboard, you could just score this in half, but I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. And then I just brought my ruler to fold that back piece. It's 1 inch on the back, so you could just use a scoreboard and score it 1 inch if you wanted. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to clip the corners, because I am going to tuck this right back behind that purple piece and I want to make sure the pattern paper is not going to show. On the second piece, the pattern is going the same direction, but I want to fold from the top instead of from the bottom. So I'm drawing my line from the top. It goes a little more than halfway down, right in the middle at 2 inches. And then I'm folding in my corners towards that center line and I will fold that 1 inch back flap and I will trim off the corners. I checked mine. I didn't need to miter them to cut those like that, but I just wanted to make sure. I'm going to add a little bit of glue under each of these corner flaps so that those stay stuck together, and then glue just on the very back flap to add it to our card. And then I will do the same with the bottom one. I just love the look of this. I don't know what it is. Something about the way it breaks up our very rectangular card, the same shape and size I make over and over. And I just think it's super fun. So I'm going to take this whole thing and add this onto our blue cardstock. So it's A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It leaves just a little bit of a margin all the way around. I'm using my bone folder against those creases. I want it to lay pretty flat, and we're going to tuck some stuff underneath those corners, so that will help. Here, this is one of the card bases that came in the kit, and I am going to cut this down to the same size. So it is 2 1/4 by 3, and the crease is at the top. It's going to be a top folding mini card. So there's my 3, and this will just open and be a little place to write our sentiment. The blue cardstock in back is not a card, right? It's just like a base for everything else. So I'm adding my pattern paper onto that sturdier cardstock. If you had a patterned cardstock, you probably wouldn't need to do that. And then I'm going to glue it just to the top triangular piece, not to the bottom, or you're going to glue the whole thing shut. Okay. I am just adding a little bit of glue because I had a piece that was sticking up. And I am holding our little mini note card so it hides behind our pattern paper. And I'm going to add glue to the back and hold it in place and close that. And then I'm just using my thumbs at the bottom to wiggle it until it's hidden all the way behind. If I'm honest, I cut that card just shy of 2 1/2 by 3, so it would hide better. I added my circle for our emergency sentiment in there. If you are new to the channel, emergency cards are ones where we sort of wait until we know who the card is going to add the sentiment. And every month I come out with a free printable for subscribers. We've done birthday and sympathy and get well, Valentine's, coworkers. So I will link those videos with the instructions for the pre-printable below. Free printable below. I am adding a bunch of ephemera and then a little chipboard sticker to this card to dress it up. That's the kind of stuff that comes with the kit that I think makes it really quick and easy to dress up a fun fold. So I can really kind of focus on the fun foldy part of it, which is sort of my favorite part. This is from the birthday sentiment kit. That was the very first one we came out with. And it says, happy birthday, just let me know how old we're telling people you are now. I added that with removable adhesive in case I change my mind later. This next card is going to be a shaker card on the front that also has this fun fold out feature. So we are going to start with our A2 card base, just like before, a piece of cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Then we have two pieces, one from the packaging that's 3 by 4 1/4 and a matching piece of pattern paper. And then this strip is 2 1/8 by 5 1/2, and that is for the inside of our card. Finally, this is a piece of packaging. I think the chipboard stickers came in that. I knew I wanted to make a shaker. So I am going to score my card at 2 1/8, and then I'm going to pull this ever so slightly away from the side and score at 1 1/8. Essentially what I did was to score this in half, just that front panel in half, and then one of the panels in half again. So first I'm making a Z fold, and then I will hold this up so you can kind of see it from the side. I get this sort of funky U shape in there. Because my truck is hanging off the side in the middle when I put it all together, I needed that extra fold. I put adhesive just on that far left strip, and I will add my blue A2 cardstock to the front. Okay, and that creates our funky inside fold out panel, if you will. On the inside, I'm going to add this little purple polka dot strip. It's actually more like confetti almost, tiny confetti. I love that color. This actually was the first card that I made. I made 8 in total. There's a second video if you didn't see it. There's one that has 6 cards that aren't fun folds but are emergency cards. So it's got 5 brand new templates with measurements and everything. If you're looking for more emergency card templates, go and check that video out. I will link it below. I am adding some of my ephemera on the inside. You certainly, if your truck wasn't hanging off the inside, you could glue that blue panel to the first half of the white panel. You wouldn't need the small score line, right? But I didn't want the truck to get crushed when people were opening it. I'm going to put my emergency sentiment on the inside. So I'm using my 2-inch circle right inside there. And then now we're going to make our shaker. So I have these 2 matching pieces. One is pattern paper, and one is just a piece of scrap cardstock to strengthen this. Okay. I know these are the pieces I want to stick on there, but I want to put them on the outside of the shaker, and I'm just laying them in place so I can figure out where I want my little puffy stickers. For the last couple months, we've gotten these puffy stickers that have the cutest hearts, and I love them. I wanted them on the inside to add a little extra interest. Now I'm just taking apart my packaging. I really think recycled packaging works particularly well for this. And so I'm just cutting it kind of in half. And then I want it to be a little bit bigger than the shaker cardstock or the shaker paper. I am using score tape. There's some double-sided adhesive that comes in the kit, but I tend to take that with me when I travel because it's smaller. So I'm just using my score tape for this. And then on the other side, on the front side, I will add the pattern paper. So I have my pattern paper on one side with my puffy stickers. I have my score tape on the other, my double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to lay this on top of my cellophane or acetate. I'm going to fold up the bottom and I'm going to press firmly against the adhesive, and then I will fold in both sides. I am not pulling this super tight. I want to leave room for the sequins and room for them to move. So I've made this little pocket and it's got just a little bit of wiggle room. I'm cutting some of the excess off the corners, but not all the way. I was hoping you could see that, but it's hard to see. If you cut too much off, you're going to put a hole in the corner and everything is going to leak out. So just keep an eye on it. I just don't want it super bulky when I go to add it to my card. I put in a bunch of sequins. I'm laying my pieces back on top so I know kind of how full it looks. I dump some out. I'll add some more. I can't make a shaker and just get it the first time. I don't think I'm capable of it. I am going to add now that last piece of the packaging down on the back. I always wait until the end to take the release paper off of that double-sided tape so I don't run into problems or accidentally stick it to something I don't want to stick it to. Okay, so then I added more double-sided tape on the back. So this is going like right over the top of the cellophane. And then a little bit of liquid glue in the middle. I want some wiggle room. I'm kind of trying to set it down in the middle first and then wiggle it until it's centered. Okay, I've got that all centered, and then I'm going to add my tree, my rainbow, my little hedgehog. That hedgehog is so cute, you guys. I switched to my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive because I'm putting it onto acetate. The Barely Art would work. It just takes longer, and I'm impatient, and I was making 8 cards this day. I also could have used the double-sided tape. Whatever works. You know, just know if you're using liquid glue, I try to stick to the middle of the die cut piece so that it doesn't squish outside of it. It makes a big old mess on the cellophane, and it is going to take a little while to dry enough that it's not moving around on there. I wanted to carry the design a little bit onto the blue cardstock as well. It just felt a little bit too plain. So I'm adding a couple more of our puffy stickers, and that will kind of finish off our card on the outside. On the inside, I still want to add a sentiment, and I am just going to use like a regular old happy birthday. Sometimes that's what we need. So I'm going to punch that out with my circle punch. That's 1 3/4 inch, and I will add it with some removable adhesive. Again, I will link all of the emergency card kits below. If you would like to check those out and want access to the free printables, they're free for subscribers. If you like these 2 projects, please give this a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.